So next, I'd like to bring up Miss Katrina Adams. But before I bring up Katrina Adams, I need to make sure that everybody here understands the impact that she has had in the name of Althea Gibson. That statue that is at the U.S. Open, it's there because Katrina literally put her blood, sweat, and tears in getting that statue there. As the past president, first African American and youngest of the USTA, she is also the only president to serve 2 terms. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but in the history of the USTA, there has been no president that has served more than 1 year, except Ms. Katrina Adams. So let me bring to this podium so she can give you words of inspiration and wisdom and share with you that big heart that she has. Ms. Katrina Adams.
Yes, sir.
All of the distinguished guests, city officials, and community members, it is truly an honor to be here today. This is a historical and monumental day to recognize the legacy of one of America's greatest tennis champions, Althea Gibson, on what would have been her 95th birthday. You're going to hear that a lot today. The accolades and accomplishments are quite significant to me, and I'm going to tell you why. As the executive director of the Harlem Junior Tennis and Education Program, housed in the Armory just a block away, it's an honor to be here to witness something long overdue. But perhaps it's fitting that on the front end of the arguably the greatest athlete of all time, Serena Williams' retirement in the upcoming US Open, a legacy is reborn in the street naming of Althea Gibson Way. In 2015, if you heard, when I became the first African American, the first former professional tennis player, and the youngest chairman, president, and CEO of the USTA, I knew that I was doing something special. And knowing that Althea was the first to break the color barrier in professional tennis on the grandest stages of the Grand Slams, the first person of color to win the French Nationals, Wimbledon back-to-back, and the US Nationals back-to-back, I knew then that I was walking in Althea's footsteps, carrying her legacy forward off the court. When I was playing, I knew I was carrying her legacy forward on the court, as Althea was a shero of mine. She was someone that I met at a young age while participating in a clinic that she hosted in Chicago, and admired her accomplishments, but didn't quite understand the significance of it at the tender age of 9 or 10. Though I knew then that she was tall in stature, had a demanding presence, and was a champion, it wasn't until I grew older as a teenager and a collegiate player when I understood just how significant her journey truly was and how she persevered. However, I didn't recognize the impact of her tumultuous road until after I retired, when I truly understood the magnitude of what she represented to a culture of people in fighting the battle and overcoming adversity to play a sport that she truly loved. Today is a very special day, where almost 2 years ago to date, I led the USTA to erect the statue of Althea at the home of the US Open in Flushing Meadows, for millions to admire her stature and learn her history. The street naming will live in perpetuity on a block where not only she grew up, right behind us here, but where hundreds of kids play tennis annually just down the street at the Harlem Junior Tennis and Education Program in the Armory, right down there, and where thousands, tens of thousands, have learned to play the sport that Althea once played. We are hoping that many of our young girls and our young boys really aspire to be a champion like Althea, and many have already. You will hear from a couple of our young student athletes shortly in explaining what Althea's legacy means to them. It is imperative that we keep her name alive. It's the next generation that needs to know that before Coco, Venus, Serena, Chanda, me, Lori, Zena, and Leslie was Althea. Why? Because Althea came first. So thanks to all of you for supporting the efforts of those responsible for getting this accomplished and for coming out to celebrate this important moment in history. Thank you.